Hey guys, it's Mikey from CA. A lot of you guys have been asking us, what about this brace ban? What the hell is ATF doing? Are they out of their mind? Short answer, yes. But let's try to dive into this and understand what's up. Firstly, SHOT Show was amazing. Thanks for the thousands of people who came by our booth. We were incredibly busy last week. A lot of people asking us questions about the brace as well. And first off, I'm not a lawyer. My mom wanted me to be a lawyer, but I became a soldier and was a soldier for 22 years instead. So I can't give any legal advice here, but I'm going to try to break this down into common language that we can all understand and try to figure this out. So first off, they came out on Friday the 13th, right before SHOT Show, with a 293-page overreach, unconstitutional, confusing language that caused a roar at SHOT Show. I think it was probably the most talked about topic at SHOT Show, and rightfully so. It's a mass overreach. Some people are thinking it's a conspiracy and they want to go for gun registry, they want to go for confiscation. This all may be true, by the way. But what's interesting about this whole thing is, back about a year and a half ago, they came out with like a 71-page proposal, the Form 4999, with a point system that you had to go through this point system to see if you're good or you're not good, and everybody's learning this. And then, I don't know, 230,000 people wrote comments, and they decided, you know what, let's take the 4999 form, we'll throw that out, and we'll just redo it. We won't give you guys time to comment, and we'll just make a rule, right? Because they can't make laws. The only people that can make laws is Congress. So basically, in this 293-page, I don't even want to call it names, but I have some names to call it. In short, what are they doing? They're changing the classification of a rifle. That's basically what they're doing. They're amending what a rifle is, and then they throw in this entire group of things that are now considered rifles. I think they use the language rifles traditional and modern from the NFC. Now, they measure the overall length, the length of pull, and the weights of about 111 different SKUs, with us being one of them. So in weight and length of pull and overall length. And in this list of 111 rifles, there was a few people that were listed as well with us 3 times. One of them was the Star 1911 and the FN Browning High Power. Guys, do these look like rifles? Are these guys insane? These 2 products were listed along with us in these 111 guns that are now rifles. So obviously what I think they did was just random shit. They just put things together and they're calling everything a rifle. And on page 3, they write, and we'll show it to you guys. On page 3, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to read, and I'm an old man already, so sometimes I need my glasses. Nothing in this rule bans stabilizing braces or the use of stabilizing braces on pistols. This they write on page 3, but it's bullshit. They're trying to say everything is an SBR. They're trying to say braces are bad. Now let's try to dive down into this. Firstly, regarding the MCK, because I can't talk about AR pistols and AKs and shotguns. That's way above my pay grade. I'll talk about handgun, about the MCK. So, as they wrote in the amendment that will show up here as well, there's nothing wrong with selling the accessory. They're saying that it becomes a problem when you put your handgun in. So you're not SBRing your MCK. You can't even SBR your MCK. It's plastic and aluminum. There's no serial number. What you may have to do, if you abide by what they're saying, and we'll talk about the problems there and the traps there as well, we'll get into that, is you may have to SBR your handgun if now you consider an MCK a rifle, which obviously we don't, and it won't stand up in a court of law. I can, almost guarantee that this will be overturned because they made so many mistakes in this 293 document. They hit more than the Second Amendment. They hit the Third, the Fifth, I don't know what other amendments they hit, but they hit a whole bunch of them. The Second and Fifth for sure. And we'll talk about that also. So it will definitely be overturned, and the bump stock that got overturned 2 weeks prior was an indication that the ATF is doing things that are far outreaching their authority. And there's no question that this will be overturned. Not only will it be overturned, but if they ever made a case about it, they wouldn't get their verdict in court. Now, to get this overturned is going to take time. This is not happening tomorrow. And let me try to explain something about the MCK and what you guys can do and what you can't do. On one hand, we have to get into the fight. Now, we have been in the fight because, as you guys know, we're the only handgun conversion kit that's allowed to use SB Tactical's brace. And SB Tactical is for sure in the forefront of this fight. And that's why every other handgun conversion kit is violating the SB Tactical patent, and that's why they don't sell at the distributor level. No one pays SB Tactical royalties. Now, I don't buy a stabilizer from SB Tactical, but I received an exclusive licensing agreement to use their patent, their brace. And that's why we pay royalties to SB Tactical every quarter. And we pay them a lot of money over the years, and rightfully so. But we paid them for the right to use a brace that we designed and we made, that they okayed. And I'm sure some of that money was used to fight these just fights against these people that are trying to take away our Second Amendment rights. And they just can't do that. So SB Tactical, along with a group called FRAC, F-R-A-C, is on the forefront of this fight. And even though we've had a great relationship with SB Tactical, we have to put our money where our mouth is as well. So we are going to be investing a large amount of money into this fight, into this legal fight. We will also have a seat on that board, and we will have a vote in how FRAC acts, and I will be sitting on that board. And hopefully you guys can reach out to the other handgun conversion kits who I don't think have come out with anything yet. Obviously, everyone's waiting for us. And that's okay. We're the leaders in this industry, so we have to come out first. But you can ask them also to contribute money. It would be great for this fight because we're fighting for them as well. It's not just for us. So going back to that, the MCK as itself is not a firearm. And the MCK itself can't be registered. And the MCK itself can be sold. Now, as we showed you here, we're allowed to sell it. There's no problem in selling it. Our distributors can sell it. The dealers can sell it. That's not the problem. But if you go by what they're saying here, if you put a handgun into the MCK, ATF can call that an SBR. We disagree with that classification because we're not a rifle, but that's what they're saying here. And there are options that you can do with the MCK to make yourself safe from these ATF. One option, a very simple one, you take out your handgun out of the MCK. That takes about 2 seconds. And you do that until this passes over, until it gets overthrown. So it's legal, 1000%, they say that. You don't have to destroy anything. You don't have to register anything if you don't want to. You just take out the handgun, put it to the side, and you're good to go. You don't like that option, you can take off the brace. As you guys know, we have something called the TAC, which we've been selling for a few years, that instead of a brace, we put an end cap on it that we have here real quick. And this is our MCK TAC, so it has no brace, and it's a little compartment here that you can put batteries or bullets or whatever you want to put in here. And this thing opens up and you can put stuff in here. And you shoot it with a 1-point thing, it comes with this. And that's an option. Another option that we think is also good is the short stabilizer. The short stabilizer is that row. We believe both the short stabilizer and the TAC, if we accept this new rule as just, which we don't, but if you accepted everything that's written, the short stabilizer and the TAC get you out of jail free card kind of thing. Why is the short stabilizer as well okay? Because they say this word a lot. They use this word consistent, over and over and over in these 293 pages. So they're saying if it's consistent with a rifle that's supposed to be shouldered, then, and that's why they spoke about length of pull, then it can be considered a rifle. And then they consider an SBR. With the short stabilizer, because the length of pull is so, even though they don't go into definition what is good and what's bad in surface area, they talk about surface area so much, but they don't say what surface area is good and what surface area is bad. That's what the ATF does. They never let us know what they actually want, so we can abide by those rules and do that. They leave it all up in the air, and then it's for definitions. It's classification. Is this good? Is this not good? You don't even know. So if they would have said, okay, 1 inch of surface area against your shoulder is bad, but 0.9 is good. If they would have written that, all of us would just make the 0.9, right? Or do something that's according to them to be legal. But because they don't use any type of clarity, and they don't let us be law-abiding citizens, they're now trying to make us felons. So there's up to 40 million stabilizers out there. Now, we sell thousands of MCKs every month internationally. They don't even know what a stabilizer is. They don't even understand the concept of a stabilizer in this country. This is just an American thing. Now, What bothers me so much about what they're doing is, let's say you want to abide by this and you go register your handgun. You have to SBR your handgun. And they have to write you have to get it engraved on the slide or on the frame itself, your name, the city, whatever the rules are for SBRing. And you, in order to do so, you have to give them a fingerprint, a photo ID, address, and a picture of the product. Now you send this. You're going to have 4 months, 120 days, once they go to the federal registry, which they haven't yet, but they will soon. So today, Tuesday, the 24th, they still haven't filed in the registry, ATF, but they will this week. For sure in the next 6-7 days they will. So normally when you go to SBR your AR pistol, your AK, you don't have an SBR in your possession. You have your regular AR. You fill out your Form 1, you fill it out in the NFA, you pay your $200 tax stamp, and it takes 6 months, 12 months, 13 months, comes back, you get an answer yes. You get an answer yes, you SBR it, you put in all the parts together, and now you have an SBR. The problem now is that if you fill out that form and you take the fingerprints and the pictures and your address and shipping address and then you send it to them and 88 days pass, after 88 days an automatic denial, they're going to be so overwhelmed with all of this stuff, they're not going to be able to get to everybody. They've never done $1 million a year, let alone 40 million in 4 months. It's not going to happen. So now you are automatically a felon, but you also incriminated yourself because you sent them a picture of your product and your address and your fingerprint, and now you're in possession, in their warped minds, you're in possession of an SBR, which is insanity. When we look at what they're trying to do, this isn't a new law. They can't make law. It's a new rule, but there's something called, it isn't a rule change, but a change to a long accepted and lawfully followed definition. We all did something for so long. It was in common use. It's not dangerous and unusual. Like the old NFA was built from this dangerous and unusual. Firstly, it's not more dangerous to shoot with a brace. A brace doesn't make your rifle more dangerous. It actually makes it harder to conceal. The brace makes the product bigger. So the fact that they can call it dangerous is a joke, and that they can call it unusual when there's up to 40 million of them out there, by default cannot be an NFA item. Because it's not dangerous and unusual, it's in common use. And that's going to be one of the strongest arguments to knock this down, because it's been used by so many people out there. So again, this is unlawful, it's unjust, and the good guys will win in the end. There's a lot of people out there that obviously don't feel like complying with this overreach by the ATF, and totally get that. We've seen a major intake increase in orders since Friday the 13th, and a lot of them, by the way, are buying the MCK with a stock. They're saying if they're stabilized as an FA, I might as well get it with the stock. You know, who's going to know if I SBR'd my handgun or not? So, you know, I don't think anyone's ever going to come knocking on your door. But, you know, you could go to a local range and then they would say, hey, you're not supposed to shoot with the brace. Well, you tell them I SBR'd my handgun. If you SBR your handgun inside the MCK, you know, no one knows yes or no. But you guys will have to make the choices you want to make. We're a bit worried. Will we give you guys your information to the ATF? Firstly, we lost all of our internal ERP system in a boating accident. So we lost everybody's information anyway. But on the other serious note, it's not illegal to own an MCK. You can put a tack on there. You can put a short stabilizer on there. You can put an airsoft pistol in there. So there is no problem owning an MCK. So you don't really have to worry about that stuff. And I know there were some issues with a ghost gun company giving off information of their customers. You will not have to worry about that in CA because no one cares who owns an MCK because it's fine to own one. How does this work? We spoke about it. Either you take the brace off or you take the handgun off until this passes over. You want to put in an airsoft pistol into your MCK and shoot with it? Great. You have the tack option, you have the short stabilizer option. We're also coming out with a 16-inch barrel. It should be out next week for the Glock 17. About a month later, we're coming out with a 16-inch for the Glock 19. So we'll have that option as well. I know that Congress is trying to help. I know there's a lot of good people that are trying to help. And you guys have been so amazingly supportive. You know, our sales have jumped. You guys have been unbelievable. We would never ask for a donation to fight the fight that we're going to do ourselves. Hopefully the other people affected will get in as well. And the only thing we can ask you guys is to keep on supporting us like you have been. You guys are amazing. We're in it for the long run. We're not going anywhere. And this is a mass overreach that will be overturned. We just need some patience, but it's going to happen. That I can guarantee. They overturned the bump stocks. They're definitely going to overturn this one. And we're going to be in the fight. Okay, to sum this up, we see that you have 5 options. And obviously we cannot tell you which one of these 5 to do. They're your options. You guys decide. One is to register your handgun during this to SBR your handgun, to register it during this 4-month period, these 120 days, which haven't started yet. And they waived the $200 tax stamp. We spoke about in this interview, in this video, the problematic parts of that, the entrapment parts of this, all the difficulties with the 88 days and all that. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. It's your option. It's your choice. Option 2 would say, screw the ATF. They did a vast overreach here. It's unconstitutional. It's not legal. And just screw them. And then you say to yourself, who knows if I SBR'd my handgun or not? No one knows if you own an MCK or not. And you just be careful when you go to local ranges if you don't know who the range officer is. So that would be option 2. Screw the ATF, and obviously there's going to be a lot of people doing that. Number 3, just a simple one, is you take out the handgun out of the MCK. You take out the brace out of the MCK, and you just wait it out. And then you just wait till this thing to get overturned, and then you just put it back on, and you're good to go. Number 4 would be taking off the brace and putting on the tack, and you have these thumb rests and a 1-point sling that we have here on the tack, and you use it like an MP5, so you're pushing forward, the bungee's pulling back, and that stabilizes the MCK. And option 5, for those who own a Glock 17 or 19, is we have 16-inch barrels that you can replace your Glock barrel of the 17 and then the 19. The 17 is coming out like next week, and the 19 about a month. And now you have a 16-inch long Glock, so it's no longer an SBR. Those are the 5. Again, you guys have to choose which one of those 5 is good for you. I hope that was clear, and hope we are so proud of, is how many disabled people and disabled veterans have reached out to us and have said, with great pictures and videos, and we've sponsored events of wheelchair 3-gun shooting. We just did this a few months back. How many of them have said to me and to our company, we now can enjoy shooting again? And that is worth more than anything that the ATF can ever do to us. We've been fortunate enough to be able to impact people's lives and allow them to shoot more comfortably. And, you know, I served for 22 years, and I understand the word commitment. I truly feel that it was a present that was given to me and to my company that allowed us to be able to help the people that sacrificed so much for us, that gave so much for our country. So I will always fight the fight, and I will always fight for the people that we're here for. So again, I thank you guys for your support. You guys have been amazing, and we love you all.